So today we're in a new standard IPT and we are going to draw the tic-tac-toe. So we're going to start by creating a 2D sketch. We're going to select the front plane and we're going to draw a 4.5 by 4.5 rectangle to get started. So if we look at this, there's our rectangle 4.5 by 4.5. And I'm just going to take a pause so you can see the dimensions clearly. And if you would like to change them, you are free to do so. After I'm done with that, I'm going to hit finish sketch. I'm going to go to the home. And we want to go to the extrude tool over here and we want to extrude this 1.5 inches. Okay, great. So if we go to start a 2D sketch and click on it, what we're going to do for this 2D sketch, I'm just going to zoom so I can see everything. I'm going to make a rectangle in here from top edge to bottom edge. Important it touches both the edge. See how I get these yellow points there representing the edge. And this rectangle from side to side should be 1/16th of an inch. So that's all you type. You don't have to worry about the fraction, you can just type 1/16th. I'm going to hit enter. And this rectangle should be 1.469. So I'm going to leave that up for a second. 1.469. And the 1.469 is how far you want this to be from the edge. We get that number because if you take a 16th of an inch and you divide it by 2, and add that number. So if you add like a 30 seconds of an inch to a 1.469, it will make 1.5 exactly in the middle of this groove. So that is how we're centering it because we want 2 of these to divide this up into 3 equal sections. Now you could go ahead and you could draw your other rectangle for the tic-tac-toe grid in each of its respective spots and the dimensions will be the same. Or you can do what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the point tool. I'm going to come down with the point tool. I'm going to put in what I think is the middle. I did that by using those lines that brought me to the middle. But if I want to check, I can check. It should be 2.25 this way and 2.25 that way. So it is centered. So if you didn't believe that I was centered, those were what the dimensions should be. And what we can do at this point is we can do what's called a circular pattern, right? We can click circular. I can click the lines of the rectangle because that's my geometry. And then for axis, I'm going to click this point because it's in the middle. And I want it to go around 4 times. And it'll spin equally around that axis 4 times. From here, if I want to, I can go in and trim this out. You are under no obligation to do that. You can come in here with the trim tool and trim this stuff out. But like I said, you're under no obligation to do that. After you do this, we're going to finish sketch. And then what we want to do is each of these rectangles or boxes, we want to select it. And this can be tricky work sometimes. I might have to zoom around a little. Try to get everything. Now, the only frustrating thing is if you make a mistake with your clicking, you gotta go back and start over. So I am being very careful with what I click, where I click, and how I click, but it looked like I got them all. So I get them all clicked. I want to change it to cut, which I could have actually done right from the beginning, and maybe that would have made it easier to click. And then I just want to cut in 1/16th of an inch. So I want to cut 1/16th. Okay. Hit enter. And this represents where you would cut the tic-tac-toe lines with the miter saw. All right. I'm going to make a 2D sketch on the front face here. And on that front face, I am going to make a point. Doesn't matter where, just as long as it's on the front face. And this point should be 0.75 from this edge and this edge. So this is very important. So take your time, get this point, 0.75 from each of these 2 edges respectively. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use a rectangular pattern. We're going to select that point. That's our geometry. and we're going to select a direction. So we're going to go click that line. It's going down. If it's going the wrong way, you can flip the direction like this. And we want it to happen 3 times at a gap of 1.5. So that'll do 3 this way. And we go to direction 2. And I am going to have to flip that because it was going the wrong way. And this one will also be 3 times at a gap of 1.5. And that lets me put my points equally spaced in the center of all of these boxes. Okay? I'm going to give you a second to look at this screen, make sure it's right, make sure you get all these little X's where they should be, and click OK. I'm going to hit Finish Sketch, and I'm going to use what's called the Hole tool. Now it's going to automatically select all those centers, which is nice, and we're going to do these holes to a distance. So see how it says 2? And we're going to do all these holes with flat bottoms. So we want to go to termination distance. And they're going to be a diameter of 0.5. That's the one we want. We want this distance. So we got 0.5 in there. And we want them to go down 1/8 of an inch. So what we've selected here is we've selected hole. It's a regular hole. The termination we wanted was distance, not 2. So we wanted distance. We want it to be a flat bottom hole. We want it to go down 1/8, and the diameter of the hole is 0.5. And that puts our holes in. All right. The next step is to put our holes on the top. So on the top face, we're going to want 2 holes. I'm going to do this with the point tool again. I'm just going to find the center, which is this green dot, and put 2 holes in the center, like that. And they should each be 1 inch from the edge. So if that's 1 inch from the edge, hold on. I don't want to do it this way. I wanted it to have this in, so I'm going to drag this in, and then I'll do it 1 inch from the other edge. I think that will give you a better view of things. So 1 inch from this edge. So we got 1 inch and 1 inch. We're going to finish sketch. I'm going to go back to the hole tool. It will select them. Once again, we're going to a distance. We're going to a distance of 4 inches. The diameter of these holes is 0.75. And it's going to have a degree at the bottom. Okay? Says the holes on the top. And then you guys do have choice for the back game. So I'm going to leave the back blank. So that is the tic-tac-toe.